here's how the new top 10 looks after the Jets and Colts completed their trade. So now it's the Browns, the Giants, and Jets with the top three. Cleveland still has the 4th overall pick it acquired from Houston last year. And then it begs to question whether quarterbacks will go 1, 2, and 3. And Josina, I'll start with you on Overreaction Monday. Quarterbacks will go 1, 2, and 3. What do you?
Oh, it's not an overreaction because all three of those franchises need to get some youth at the quarterback position and need to start turning the dial. Hey, listen, I've said it on NFL Live a couple of times. I'm trying to see Baker Mayfield with the Giants, put him with Odell. I think that's how you electrify. If you didn't have enough electrifying headlines last season, that's how you really set it off. And then with the Jets, obviously, we talked about McCown being older and not really knowing what the questions are with Teddy Bridgewater when he comes back. I think once you miss on Carson Wentz, once you pass on Deshaun Watson, I think the pressure is there on the Browns to still get that quarterback, because if you get Saquon and one of those three quarterbacks performs really well for another organization, then everyone again is going to go, see. So, you know, that C thing is on them.
I'm just getting my popcorn ready for the Mayfield Odell.
Listen, I'm trying to set it off. You know the movie.
I want to see that movie.
Okay.
That would be fun. Not an overreaction because, again, to Josina's point, all three teams could be looking at long-term franchise quarterback. And if the Giants aren't, and I suspect they might not be, if they aren't, then they're going to get some pretty good offers from teams like Buffalo, Denver, Miami, Arizona, teams that want to move up and get a quarterback and now know they have to get ahead of the Jets to make sure they have a chance to get their guys. So I think it's not an overreaction. I think whether the Giants stay put and take one or whether they trade out to a team that's taking one, I think there's a very strong chance that quarterbacks are the first three players selected in the draft, which I believe would be a first.
It would be a first. But let me ask you this quickly, Jeff, before you weigh in here. Why do you get the sense the Giants are looking in a different direction?
Just reading the tea leaves on their offseason, they've publicly committed to Eli Manning at age 37. They've spent big money on a left tackle, like really top of the market money on a left tackle. They spent big to get Alec Ogletree. They look like a team that's positioning themselves to try and contend right away. And if that's the case, I wonder if they look at someone like a Saquon Barkley as like a piece they can plug into their offense as another sort of explosive weapon. So again, just reading the tea leaves on that, I think there's a chance they stay put and take a quarterback, but I also think there's a chance they don't. And I think that there have been some mixed signals coming from that front office.
And guess what? I know it's crazy because I don't know that it's ever happened, but we were wrong. This would be, I know. It doesn't happen often, really. But this would be the 3rd time that quarterbacks have gone 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
okay.
Fantastic.
So, anyway.
I didn't know that, Dan.
Oh, look at that. There you go.
Oh, look.
Where was this chart a minute and a half ago?
Just in case you were wondering.
Arch right there at number 2.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, David Lloyd on SportsCenter told me it'd be a first.
It was
I'm going to blame him.
Setup.
First time this century.
We were baiting you.
David Lloyd, he's such a bop.
Here's my favorite part about Dan, though. Last segment, he was blasting Josina about being clairvoyant. Now he's talking about the Giants trading now.
I said I don't know.
You have reason to believe.
We're going to trade out. We're going to pick up.
Tea leaves.
This is an overreaction. 1, 2, and 3 to me is an overreaction.
Well, it has happened.
Can't happen.
No.
As everyone knows, it's happened twice before.
The Giants are going to stick there. They're going to add a piece to their arsenal unless it just gets crazy, to your point. But I don't think, in my opinion, they would go over Eli. I think with what happened last year, Mara, the switchback, all the stuff, we saw the fall guy, head coach takes it, all of the fallout from that. I think Eli is their guy. They're going to ride this thing. I do think a Barkley or a Chubb. In fact, I mean, if I'm looking at it from this perspective, an interior defensive rush guy who can add. Think about the Giants when they were successful. They had that NASCAR package. They could flat out get after the quarterback. We know they can build from that side. I do not see 3 QBs going unless there is a trade.
Can I just say this real quick because we were talking about the Patriots and what they were doing in the last segment. You don't wait to the last minute to get on with your quarterback, man. $22 million
right.
Eli, you're making that, you know, everything that happened last year, but that was a PR move in consideration in comparison to Geno. I think that they should get a quarterback. You don't wait till the wheels fall off.
But Jeff's right, though. All those people that were involved in that Eli mess are gone. Like, it went like Michael Corleone style. Like, they got rid of everybody.
Silent and gone.
I'm not sure why you called it a mess.
Eli proceeded to, they lost the next 4 games after he came back. Remember that.
They didn't have a strong season.
Okay.
I like the switchback. That's the official term for this. You know, it was a switchback.
Yes.
Okay.
You got it.
How about this? Overreaction day continues. The Browns, I say, will benefit the most from that Jets and Colts trade and the Jets moving up to number 3. Jeff, is that an overreaction?
Not an overreaction. Listen, this could be really. Think about the Browns now. They could sit. Now that the Jets have moved up, they could sit, get their quarterback, and then get Barkley at 4 if it goes to quarterback. So now they have hit the jackpot in all realms. Or they could trade out of 4, let someone else come in there and grab quite a few more picks to build the back end of their draft class, however they want to do it. They are sitting in the catbird seat. They understand what this thing looks like. Once the Jets made that play, the Bills will have to come up and all the way to 1 or 2, which they're going to give it all up. But the Browns are sitting pretty. They understand the price that the Jets were willing to pay. They're sitting good with potential best quarterback, best running back, or best pass rusher in the draft at 1 and 4.
Listen,
I like them.
Don't sleep on the Browns. They were my bold prediction for the season.
Lord,
oh, my God. That's the easiest bold prediction.
No,
Win a game? What?
If they win 2 games.
That is not
today.
easy. I said
Oh,
8
my
games.
word.
We are snapping at everybody.
Good gracious.
Yeah,
We're
that's a
irritable
bold
Tar
prediction.
Heels
It's in
today.
4 years to win 8 games.
That's why it was a bold prediction.
Yeah, I would say so.
Go ahead,
Anyway,
Josina.
it's not an overreaction, but it's not what's going to happen, because I actually do agree with Dan just with everything that, in terms of the way that it's pointing. I feel like that's probably what they are going to do in terms of getting a running back, although I don't feel like they should do that. So it's not an overreaction. It could benefit. It's just not going to, because I can totally see that they're not going to go quarterback and get my Mayfield-Odell Beckham Jr. duo that I've been,
Poor JoJo. She's going to go into mourning the
We all
day
want
after
that.
the draft.
We all
Yeah,
want
listen,
that.
well, oof, I don't know. Have you said?
I agree with everything Jeff said.
Okay, that's it?
What
That's
about
you
me?
just, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Kind of.
Josina's point is well taken, which is the Giants could theoretically end up benefiting more if they make a
That's what you
trade.
said, right.
Right, that's correct. But
Right.
I agree that it won't happen. I think the Browns are in such a great spot.
Such a great
They
spot.
are. And
Picking
you know
at
what?
4 and 1. But you should be go 0-16.
Don't sleep on the Browns.
Yeah, when you've won 1 game in 24 years.
Listen, if the Giants do what they're supposed
24.
to do and they win, they're not going to be in this position again to be this high.
Which is
and
why-
to get a quarterback. So that is why you get the quarterback now.
I agree with her, too.
Fair enough. You are just a man.
I don't agree that the Browns
how
don't
many,
win.
Blows and Dan
Yeah.
changes. It just shifts back and forth.
Working with
my
very smart
word.
people. That's
Okay.
all I say.
How many
Wendy?
winning seasons does Joe Thomas have? Anyone?
How many winning seasons
Yeah, how
does
many?
Joe Thomas have?
Yeah,
2.
1?
1. What year?
Oh.
Rookie year. All right, we'll move on. Phil C. and Brandon Bean on the possibility of trading up from, this is from Peter King and Monday Morning Quarterback. Most of these quarterbacks have only spent 15 minutes with. I haven't spent enough time to have an opinion about any of them yet. Honestly. Okay. I actually sent a little note to our team yesterday. We got 6 weeks to get our board together. I am not there yet, knowing if we can or will move up again. I want Sean to get to know all of them. We're keeping an open mind where we're at. We've got the picks. We've got the draft capital. I'm not ready to pull the trigger. And they do. They do have the picks and the capital. But I'll say this. The Bills will not find their franchise quarterback in 2018. Overreaction or no?
It's an overreaction. I think they have a good chance to do that. You mentioned the draft capital, 2 first-round picks. If there's a team that can move up and give the Giants more than the Jets gave the Colts for the 3 pick to get up to the 2, I think Buffalo is positioned to be that team. And for that reason, given their ability to move up if they want to, and given the quality, the apparent quality of the quarterbacks in this year's draft, I think there's a strong chance that they can do that.
Yeah, it's not an overreaction. I just don't get the Tyrod out and the A.J. McCarron in. I don't know that is a bigger upgrade with what they were doing there. I don't get that, except for maybe, the coach in the front office is showing just how they personally maybe feel about Tyrod. But from the standpoint that they could move in, like you said, to the 2nd spot and find one of those 3 guys that we've been talking about all show, yeah, not an overreaction.
Okay. Jeff Saturday?
I'm going to say not an overreaction. This is my issue with who's the last franchise quarterback the Bills have had? Jim Kelly. I mean, we are a long way from Jim Kelly's days. To think that you're going to go into Buffalo again. Football's not played in a vacuum. You're going to go into an area. None of these guys are, and you're going to try to ask them to take a franchise over. What are you giving them that they can come and be productive, turn this around? Tyrod Taylor gave you the best option with his legs, with his arms, all those things. But to be a franchise guy, It's not easy. I mean, people act like every year in the draft there's some franchise guys. It's not like that. I mean, you have to know if they have it, and this goes to Bean's comments, if you don't already know that there is a guy and you're going, man, this guy, I'm going to set my franchise on him. If you're like, hey, we got 6 weeks to think of this, we're going to kind of, move in this thing slow. It's hard for me to believe that you think there's a guy who's going to take this and run with it.
I would agree. I feel like you know that.
Yeah, I mean,
he's the guy. You know that.
Like, think about
Or have a pretty good idea at this
Andrew
point.
Luck. Think about the guys who you are talking about. And can you always find a flyer? I don't mean it that way, but I'm saying those guys were talked about for a couple of years coming into. You knew it, and there's still only a couple in our game. As much as we like to make everybody a franchise quarterback, I can count them all on one hand.
Especially with the elements in Buffalo,
it's
too.
ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
it's not an easy place to play.
Right.
I can tell you.
And if you're playing along, if you've got in a vacuum in the NFL Live drinking game.
What?
You got three. You got three.
I got three.
I'm just saying.
You're welcome.
Yeah, listen.
You're welcome to your Monday afternoon
Tom Brady
party.
isn't here to chug along.
We continue with press coverage from Adam Schefter, who is no doubt playing along at home. This is about a quarterback who could be taken first overall. Rain is in the forecast for USC quarterback Sam Darnold's pro day on Wednesday, but after not throwing at the combine, Darnold will be throwing on Wednesday, this even if there's inclement
Should
weather.
have done it in Indy.
Because he did not,
Yeah,
to Stevens' point,
there.
throw in Indianapolis. That's right. The Texans added the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, but will his playmaking skills make the Texans the favorite in the AFC South?
Throws and it's intercepted again by Mathieu, and he's going to take it to the house. The Badger